want to share a story with you. Of course, that story begins with once upon a time. There was a man who lived in a small town in Poland with his wife and his 6 children. Does anyone have 6 kids out there? It's just a lot. So they lived in a very, very small home. And you can imagine that this might wear on the parents, having 6 kids. The man and his wife are kind of going crazy. There's no place in their home to have quiet time. We all need quiet time. Do you need quiet time? You do? Okay. Even the kids do, see? And he didn't know what to do. And finally his wife was at her wit's end, hearing her husband complain. And what did she tell him? But go ask the rabbi. Because that's what you all do, right? So he goes to ask the rabbi, and he says, Rabbi, I have a tiny house, I have 6 children, I have a wife, it is so small, it is so loud, it is so messy, there's nowhere to put anything. Like, don't even get me started about our closet sizes. What do I do? The rabbi looks at him, and as you know, I like to say, the rabbi, she was very wise. And she said, do you have any chickens? The man said, yeah, I got chickens. She said, okay, I need you to take your chickens and put them in your house. The guy's like, okay, all right, it's what the wise rabbi says. I got to do what she says, so I'm going to do it. So he gets his 6 chickens. Are there 6 chickens out there? Are there any chickens? Are you a chicken? Mark's a chicken? You don't know. There might be some chickens out there. So he brings the chickens in the house, and what does it start to sound like? Whoa, that's a weird chicken. I like that, though. So there's all of these noises, and it's worse. And the chickens are flapping their wings, and they're pecking at everything, and it is madness-making. So the man goes back to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, you told me to bring chickens into my house. I came to complain to you about how loud it was, how crazy it was. You told me to bring chickens into my house to fix the problem, and now it's worse. What do I do now? Rabbi says, do you have any sheep? Man says, yeah, I got sheep. Of course I have sheep. Are there any sheep out there? You guys, thank you. I made Isaac audition before services, so I'm glad he's coming through for me. So yeah, so the chickens are making their noises and the sheep are making their noises. What does that sound like? It is madness making. The chickens are clucking, they have the sheep are baying. You know, not even to mention what else animals smell like. So the house smells worse than it ever has before. There's less room to get around. The man is going insane, goes back to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, I asked you to solve my problem. I told you that my house was too small. I told you it was too noisy. I told you that there was not room to move around. I couldn't get a moment to think for myself. You told me to bring the chickens in. I bring the chickens in. That didn't help. Then you told me to bring the sheep in, and that didn't help. What do I do to make this better? The rabbi says, do you have any cows? And says, of course I have cows. She says, you should bring your cow inside your house. So now we have the cow going. We have the chickens going. We have the sheep going. Not to mention the kids. What do kids sound like? And here will be my favorite. Kids, what do the parents sound like? Oh, we have so much to work on. So you have a cow, it's stomping around, it's breaking things in the house, there's definitely no room. Man runs back to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, I told you my problem was that my house is too loud, it was too messy. You told me to bring in the chickens, I brought in the chickens. You told me to bring in the sheep, I brought in the sheep. You told me to bring in the cows, I brought in the cow. It's not better. In fact, it's a lot worse. The rabbi says, have you thought about taking all the animals out? Maybe if you go put the chicken in their coop. Go put the sheep out in the field. Go put the cow out in the field in the pasture. And then come back to me. So he does that. He gets the whole family involved. They all take the animals back to where they belong. They all come back. They clean the house together as a family because, as you can imagine, really the point of the story is think about your own house. At least it's not filled with the farm. So they put the animals away. They clean up the house. It's starting to finally smell better. It's definitely a lot more quiet. And the man comes back to the rabbi and says, "You are a genius," which she knew all along. "You are a genius. My house is so quiet now. It is so clean. My family can spend time together in one room without a chicken, without a cow, without a sheep. It's all I've ever wanted. This is all I've wanted for my family." And so as we come together on Shabbat, even though I'm really glad we had our animals here with us tonight, Moo, is that perspective goes a long way. We know from the story that this man's family was no different before all the animals were in the house than after. But this simple act was something that made he and his wife and his children be able to appreciate what they had. And often, we sometimes forget and we can focus a lot on what we don't have instead of focusing on what we do have. And what we remember is that on Shabbat, it is that time to really remember what it is that we have, what it is we have in community, what it is we have in family and each other. And so I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and now you can go home and be grateful that you do not have a farm that lives in your house.
Amen.